We all saw, Martin Simon, we saw what happened at the end of the game. And of course, when they actually got to the stage of being presented with the trophy. We then saw a bit of symbolism, if you like. Messi lifted the World Cup in a black bisht.
Yeah.
What is that? It's a traditional men's cloak in the Arab world, often worn on special occasions. I mentioned the Telegraph there, the caption under the picture of Messi being draped in the bisht by the Emir of Qatar. Surprise. Lionel Messi receives a Qatari robe in bizarre final ceremony. Yeah. Did you find it bizarre, Simon?
Well, I have to say, I did think it was a little odd. But here we are, and we are waxing lyrical about the achievements of having a World Cup in an Arab state, and some people don't like it and understand the reasons why, but suggesting it's opening up that part of the world. Then we're waxing on about the achievements of African continents and African teams playing in this World Cup and opening the door and lifting the lid, and this nation's being put on the world stage. We're watching Lionel Messi run around advertising Qatar Airlines, and then all of a sudden, because he's given something that comes from this particular part of the world, people are taking offence of it. I wonder if in 1986, if someone had plonked a sombrero on Diego Maradona's head, there'd be this outrage.
Well, it happened with Pele in 1970 in Mexico, didn't it?
Well, there we are.
The sombrero.
So, with that in mind, I'm not entirely sure what the big hoo-ha's about it. You know, I don't think they needed to do it, but if it's part and parcel of what they think the values, and they obviously feel, because we were there, they feel remarkably proud. Whoever disagrees with it, and we've heard who does, remarkably proud that this World Cup was hosted by them, open the first ever World Cup in an Arab state. So it doesn't surprise me that the Emir that we met has taken this opportunity to celebrate his country by giving Lionel Messi, the winner of the World Cup, something to wear for a moment in time. And I don't really understand what the hullabaloo's about, because I think it's something and nothing. I think it's a little odd, but I don't think anything more than that.
I think it might have been better to have left him just, to retain his Argentinian shirt and offer the trophy up just as that. I think maybe they're trying to share in their culture. They've been there 5 weeks, haven't they? The Argentinian players. Is it, it happens. You go to some countries and they put, things across your flowers around your neck, and it's a little bit like that. I don't think Messi had any other option really than to accept the sort of culture, hospitality that was offered his way, but I did think it was a little bit too far.
I would be surprised, and it's not me on any shape or form falling on either side of the fence, if both of these captains hadn't been briefed before the game that in the event of one of you lifting the World Cup, there's going to be this. Because having been over there and having seen the manner in which, a lot of people do not agree with certain principles, and I understand it, right? But I also have my experiences of the Qataris is incredibly well-mannered, polite, well-educated people. And so I'd be surprised if this wasn't something they were told about. Now, if we can look back over the litany of World Cups and say this has never been done before, then okay. But I think this is underpinned and underscored by a narrative that keeps popping up. It popped up this morning with Dean Saunders saying this World Cup shouldn't have been there. He was over there for 4 weeks. If it was so bleeding offensive, Dean, what were you doing over there? Right? And the bottom line is that we're jacking it up to a major event, and I think it's something and nothing. I think ultimately this is a country that was remarkably. There, people will make it more sinister. They'll turn around and say this is a dictatorship, an autocracy that dictates to people how they behave, and this is why this happened. Or maybe it's just because they were remarkably proud of the outcome of a World Cup and gave the greatest player in the world at this moment in time something to wear for a moment in time.
I think you're absolutely right, Simon. I mean, you said at the start, I thought it was a bit odd. I didn't find it a bit odd because the bisht in the Arab world is worn on prestigious and special occasions. And when you see the way Messi is shaping up to be presented with it, it was draped over him. I agree, Simon. I don't think he knew it was coming. But he stood and went with the moment. And
but
let's
is it
face
not in the wrong context?
Let's face it.
You're about to lift up the World Cup final and you're being asked to put a robe on. Jim.
It is a little bit, Jim.
I don't think it's quite right. I think you're wrong there.
Well, let's face it, he didn't win it for any real length of time, did he?
You're not winning the World Cup.
He discarded the thing shortly afterwards.
Granted, but if we look at form and we look at protocol and we look at procedure and we look at the the whole dynamics of the World Cup,
wasn't it?
This is an Argentinian win. It's Argentina that are lifting the World Cup. So I'm not entirely sure that it was necessary. But
well, was it necessary to plonk a sombrero on Pele's head at the end of 1970?
And that's why I made the point.
Yes.
So that
it's a well-made point. I agree with you, Simon.
The hiving up to outrage is because of the narrative behind this World Cup.